devised a method of healing that creates possibilities for us to become wholesome, wholesome. So I'm going to read you some of what I've written that explains where we are on our beautiful planet Earth at this time in 2026, and about the vibration that's coming in, that the vibration of Earth is changing to a higher frequency, and humanity is trying to rise with it, although a lot of us don't realise what's going on. It's to do with the planetary alignments and the solar flares and many things on this planet that are not good for us anymore. It's a new way of thinking, a new way of loving, a new way of living, and it's changed from healers healing others to knowing that as we heal ourselves, we heal others through the vibration we give out, through the love we give, to new passions that we create to help humanity go forward, move forward into this new frequency, which by 2030 will have settled itself around our planet. A short bit about me. I have two grown-up daughters who are both now successful in what they chose to do in life, and none of us are ever perfect, no matter how old we get, and the minute we think we're perfect, then there's something wrong, we should rethink. We are forever learning. Till our last breath, there is always learning to do, never allowing ourselves to be complacent about what we're thinking, what we focus on, what we're aware of. The more wholesome we become, the more wholesome we become, the more we can help others by them just feeling and seeing that we're at peace and happiness by being our highest selves, being our highest potential. We all have the possibility to do this, but we have to want to do it. So for those who want to, my story is a long lifetime of being too empathic to people that are very narcissistic, which is selfishness. I read a book years ago called The Selfish Gene, and there is such a thing. People get stuck in the me, feeling sorry for themselves, all the negative emotions that we have, and then you get empaths that are the total opposite. But actually we need balance. We need to be able to say no to people that don't help our spirits feel good, and we need to say yes to people that will encourage and understand us. And we all want understanding, we all want to feel loved, but love starts within ourselves. Self-love is the most important thing to learn. With every emotion and everything we go through in our busy lives and our phones and TVs and games and to drinking and drugs and sex, it is whole, like, who are we? We grow up during our teenage years wondering what sex is all about, and it's all very taboo, but it shouldn't be. And then we have extremes, where it's thrown in our face. And finding a balance to everything that's not right in life is what this new world, this real world, is all about. So what I have devised is this method of balancing ourselves out. And the more we can balance ourselves in all our emotions and focus and passions and creations, the happier we all are. And then the happier we affect other people around us. Some people don't like that happiness, and you often discover you're living next to people that don't like you just because you're a happy person. So, we all have to find our own niche in life, but it's about not putting up with the negativity, the bullying, people's opinions, because ultimately that's their opinion. It's not your opinion, and we need to be aware of our energy more. Energy is so important. So who are we? A way of finding out who we are is by understanding that we all have spirit, which as a child we naturally use with our souls to become who we are. But sometimes children are not given the nurturing they deserve or need, which in turn causes childhood traumas, and in later years, inner child traumas, because they're so hidden and they go back so far that people forget, or they don't want to think about it, or we naturally blank things out that hurt us. Going through these traumas is what heals us, and it's not an easy process to do. But the first thing we have to be aware of is whether it was our fault or not. How old were we? Were we in a situation where we could have done anything about it, no matter what age we were? Were we naive? A lot of us grow up very naive. And we all tend to think that people think the same as we do, which is so far from the truth, because everybody has their own perception. Everybody has their own thinking style. So this is a method to try and work out your thoughts for yourself. Our personalities have patterns, and every emotion is relevant to who we become as we grow. Any emotional traumas that do not become acknowledged, whether we're aware of them or not, result in our thoughts and behaviours creating who we grow to become in our adult life. Everything set up in the system we live in, from health to education to justice, is set up through fear, so that where we view our lives from, many think that fear is a natural worry, is a natural state of being. But these things, stressing over things and worrying over things, is the worst thing for us, because it's hidden. It's something we do without realising most of the time. And it's not an obvious thing on the outside to most people. Sometimes we can notice people are worried about things, but we tend to worry a lot about things and hide them, and just think, well, we have to get on with it. So using your discernment to decide which thoughts are valid that you're thinking and which thoughts aren't is very important. Everything is energy. Our emotions are energy in motion. Our brains are split into a creative side, the right hemisphere, and a logical side, the computer brain on the left hemisphere, which is the monkey mind, which we don't learn how to calm it down. Or figure out how to do something else, break the cycle, then we are in danger of that taking over and us losing who we are even more. We're here at a time in 2026 on our beautiful planet Earth where we are all finding peace and happiness in ourselves by balancing out our feminine and masculine sides within us. We're at a very special time in humanity, which is giving us the chance to go from the masculine energy run world to a feminine energy run world. But it's not a matter of flipping from one energy to the other. This time round, we have the chance to balance the masculine and the feminine energies within ourselves to create a balanced world where both energies exist in the positive. There's always going to be negatives that come into life, into our thoughts, but the negative side of things are lessons to be learned so that we can move forward to being happy. There's not one person on this planet that does not want to be happy. We get stuck in our sadness. We feel like we have to stay in our sadness. We feel like we'll never get out of our sadness sometimes. And even empaths feel the sadness of the world. So trying to, from both sides of the coin, we're trying to balance out ourselves to move forward in this new time, in this real time, where we've never had the chance before to understand that the masculine energy and the feminine energy in ourselves is so important, and that balancing it out is our answer to health, wealth and happiness. Empaths in particular have to be aware that some people are not in a position, for whatever reason, to give the love that they give. Empaths tend to give love unconditionally, and we're very often caught out by trying to help people that actually aren't in a position where they want to grow or feel they can grow, for whatever reasons. We all have addictions to some degree or other, whether it be food, drink, drugs, gambling, sex, anything. You can be addicted to anything. Too much beetroot's no good for you. Too many strawberries. Everything is moderation and balance, but it's looking on the brighter side of things all the time, having that cup half full, not half empty. This new frequency that's coming in is the love, the God, the truth frequency, where the higher we raise our vibrations to match the Earth's new vibration, then our intuition kicks in a lot more. Our common sense comes back. We are able to see where there's deceptiveness going on around us and in our lives, not just from other people, but from systems and authorities or schooling, pharmaceutical industry, just about every industry. It is very much run with the greedy mindset of the negative masculine side of things, and these people are fighting to keep it because that's how they think. That's not something anyone can heal unless we heal ourselves and show the world that there's another way to healing. That's trying to heal somebody, I mean, even just doing Reiki on someone, unless their mind and spirit is on the same wavelength as their body healing, you're recharging your batteries after healing someone for no reason, because it's just all gone into the universe again a few days later, because it's not understood how to continue that healing, how the mind has to work with it, how feeding yourself works with it, what you think is so important, not holding grudges, not disliking what's going on around you. We are all responsible for who we are and where we are in life as adults. As children, we are under our parents' charge or guardians' charge. But as adults, we have to learn to survive on our own. And we are all responsible for ourselves in this manner. We all come into this world on our own as separate beings. Even if we're twins or triplets or something, you're still an individual that has your own mind. Even conjoined twins, I mean, that is very special. But at the same, because they have that telepathic communication, but very often you find that they're very mentally very different personalities. So this shows how important your spirit is and how individual it is to you. Balancing out our life force energy within ourselves is how we rise to a personal vibration that is higher, creating self-healing through conscious thought and through self-honesty, because energy is thought focus. If we focus on arguments and negativity and just the same old different day stuff, then we're stuck in a rut, we're stuck in a cycle. We need to move upwards. We need to spiral up. We can spiral up the same as we can spiral down. So it's about understanding where your thoughts are going. And I myself, I'm no different to anybody else. I allow myself to get caught up in listening to stuff sometimes, or watching films that aren't really any good and just bring me down, and I think, why did I do that? It is a hard thing to do, but nobody is perfect, and that's the thing. Up until our last breath, we're always learning, always reconsidering, making sure that our thoughts are goodly, because if they're goodly, then they're godly. every thought comes to us before we speak. There's always that pause between thinking something and saying something. Sometimes people don't recognise it and will just say whatever comes into their head. But there is a pause there. There is a time where before you say something, you're actually thinking it. And when you realise that, you can then go a bit deeper and decide, okay, so what am I thinking? Is that thought a good thought for me? Is it helpful for me? Is it helpful for other people? Or is it self-destructive? Is it a negative thought I'm thinking about myself? And if we think negatively about ourselves, that energy then is sent around the people that are close to us. People who are close to us feel our energy. So it's being aware that every thought can be changed. You can decide, if you sit long enough, to realise that your mind will just keep going and going and going until you say stop. Your creative side says stop. It says to you, right, I don't like what I've just thought then, or I do like what I've just thought. And then you have to decide, is that a good thought? Is that going to be helpful, or is that going to harm me or harm other people? And we all have instinctive knowledge, knowing of right and wrong. But we get so lost in the 3D rushing around work situations and thinking lies is okay. It could start off with a little white lie. It could start off with any tiny thing, allowing yourself to just forget for a minute and go, okay, or laugh at somebody else's misfortune. It can be the smallest of things sometimes that you don't even realise you do. So thoughts are extremely important because they are what create our environment. Everything around us, it's all energy. So whatever you're thinking has to go somewhere. That energy has to go somewhere. So the higher we raise our vibrations, the clearer our thoughts become, the clearer our understanding becomes, and the clearer our awareness and our focus becomes on doing good things and the right things. And everybody has a different gift and a different way of helping people. And as long as it's genuine and you're being authentic, you're being, not overly loving and not underly loving and not giving to people that don't want to know, because that's a waste of energy. The same as trying to create scenarios with people that you're not on the same wavelength with. That's, the idea is to grow to that higher frequency, to improve yourself all the time. And it's not about whether anybody is better than anybody else. It's very much about how you feel about yourself. And we need to learn to love ourselves, because until we learn to love ourselves, we can't love the rest of humanity or anybody else properly. We all go up and down at times, and, being an empath is equally as hard as being a narcissist. It has its differences that you have to deal with. It doesn't make you perfect. It doesn't make you a special person. It means you're a caring person rather than a selfish person. But that's something we still have to really work on as well. We can still get lost in the arrogance and pride and stubbornness we can think it's a good thing to be like that when maybe we shouldn't be having any part of it at all. So we really do have to be careful how we treat people, but mainly ourselves, because until we can treat ourselves right, be honest with ourselves, then we're not really going to be honest with others because we don't understand it. Therefore, we come across as not understanding it. Everything we go through, every feeling we have, every emotion we have, every thought we have, everything we say, do, it's all on different levels, and it can go from its lowest form of doing that thing or being that person or having that thought to the highest potential of what that could be. You know, I said glass is half full or half empty. It's very much your mindset of how you're looking at your life. Some of the happiest people on earth have nothing because they know that the most important thing is having peace and calmness in themselves and love in themselves. But we all have room to grow, and no matter where we are, we don't have to be perfect because there's no such thing. Being perfect is trying. Being perfect is making the effort, always moving forward, never giving up on yourself. That is the perfection. To be something amazing and godlike is a very hard position to get yourself into, but it is possible by being good. You're certainly not going to be good if you spend half your time having bad thoughts. So, you know, you're just splitting yourself. You have to work out why you're having bad thoughts, what you're having bad thoughts about. And we all have them at different levels. Everything is on levels. So I've left my email address at the bottom in the comments, and I am open to explaining and helping people with my method of healing, finding their self-love and self-worth. Those who are looking to grow and to figure out what isn't quite right, what they're not doing right, why they're feeling like they are, because everybody's pattern's going to be so different. So although a huge list can be written of everything, there is so much to consider. You're still going, you know, I mean, if I was to do that, there would still be things that I would miss out because everybody is special in their own way. Everybody has their own desires and thoughts and promises we make to ourselves, promises we hope for others. So I hope that anybody that would like to email me understands this point of view. It is a very simple approach, or the nasty or nice approach as I used to call it, and you know, I can do it adult styley or I can do it child styley. You know, everybody is on a different level, and that's the whole point. Everything is on different levels. So if you're willing to be open and honest and would love to grow and move forward in your life in a positive way so that you can raise your vibration to move into this golden age at a beautiful time, then I am very open here to help you through whatever problems you may have. There are some things that only we can discover ourselves, so a lot of it will be going away and thinking about it and then taking it from there and writing down notes, keeping a journal for yourself, how things are changing and progressing. So it's very much based like that, but there's always going to be the support. The support is here when you get stuck, when you get fearful or worried or just undecisive about things. And then we can move forward from there. So if you would like to email me at any time to follow on any things that I've already said on this podcast, feel free to do so, and I will leave you on this beautiful day in August with lots of love and light and sunshine. The sunshine is where we get our energy from. Without the sun, where would we be? You know, it creates so much. So I will speak to you soon, and have a wonderful day, people.